press back up. Whoop. And straighten that leg, toes in. All 10 toes point to the center once again. Hands to hips. And then heels in, toes out. And then toes in, heels out. And heels in, toes out. And just move side to side. And then heel toe or step back underneath your hips to Tadasana, to mountain pose. And just feel for a moment. Maybe feel a little taller, a little looser in the hips, a little looser in the low back. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, draw your belly to your spine and drop your chin. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, turn to your right. Inhale forward. Exhale to the other side. Inhale forward. Exhale, drop the chin. This time, inhale, reach the arms up, lift the chin. And exhale, forward fold or coming into squat. So we're going to move into a floor practice. So however you'd like to either come to seated, soles of the feet together, or into a squat and then come to seated. You can come into a squat with a block underneath your tailbone, sitting bones. You can also roll up a blanket underneath your feet, your heels. If you're in this position, also think about lifting pelvic floor, Mula Bandha lock, so engaging the lowest pelvic muscles while also opening and lifting the heart forward. I'm pressing my upper arms into my thighs, and they are pressing at the same pressure back, creating a situation of isometric energy. So that's keeping everything kind of staying within a safe zone. I'm not forcing anything. And then when you're ready to come onto your sitting bones or just come into an easy sit. So if you were in that squat, you might need to, especially if you're more externally rotated, you might need to bring the legs closer in. Just taking a moment here. And then from here, we're going to come lying on our backs, bringing our knees to our chest. Setting up your practice for a nice relaxation after we work on some spinal twists and hip openers. So bringing the knees in, rotating them in circles, maybe rotating the ankles also. If you're rotating in a circle, then reversing. So you get a nice low back massage. And then bringing your feet up to the sky. Sorry, I can't quite get my blanket in the right place here. There we go. Blanket, feet up to the sky. And point and flex the toes. Rotate the ankles again. Take your arms behind your head. And then bend your knees and move into happy baby. Just feeling the low back as you kind of move gently left to right, side to side. Breathing in, giving yourself a little massage. relaxing your face. Maybe bringing your awareness back to your intention in the beginning of practice, just to keep it alive. Let your heels gently come towards the sitting bones. Press your knees towards the center line. Straighten your feet to the sky. And flex, rotate. And then let's bend the knees, grab onto the right thigh or shin, extend the left. Come right onto the center of that left leg so we're in alignment as if we were in Tadasana, standing almost coming into like a tree pose. And then breathe and relax into the low back. Rotate the ankle again if you like. And then either holding here or grabbing the big toe and straightening the heel, or you can also use a strap if you have one nearby. Staying strong with the left leg. Maybe even placing your left hand on top of the hip flexor to feel that support. And bending the knee into half happy baby, keeping your left hand on your left hip to keep it from lifting up away from the ground. And then slowly bring that knee back, straighten it up. This time both hands are interlaced behind the thigh for support, keeping it in line with the hip. Just rotating the toes towards the ceiling again. And then gently releasing and slowly pressing out through the sole of the foot as you lower that leg down. And just pause for a minute. Feel how open that can feel for you. It's pretty amazing. And then we'll draw on an exhale, bringing in the left knee in, staying nice and strong, but not rigid in the right leg. And I'm always turning my ankles around in circles intentionally. So that's something I say a lot. I rotate a lot. I try to keep the tightness out of a lot of scar tissue I have. So for me, it's really important to keep this moving at all times. And then opening up the leg. Strong with the base leg, lifting through the ball of the foot. If you'd like to hold on to the big toe. I like to do this because my toe is pulling my fingers towards the ceiling, but I'm drawing my shoulder blade and arm back down into the shoulder socket. So I'm getting a nice, strong experience both in the arm and the opening up through the hamstrings. So it's kind of a safety thing too. And then if you want to bend into happy baby. Checking in with the left leg, making sure it's not cramping up anywhere in the ankle or toes, maybe wiggling the toes. Listening for your breath, letting that resistance keep you safe with the arm and leg and hip. And then slowly straightening the leg up, interlacing fingers again. And then if you'd like, releasing strong left leg as you gently, on an exhale, maybe a long protracted exhale, lower that leg down to meet its partner. Inhale, take the hands up over the head. Exhale, bend the knees and draw them into the chest. Inhale, straighten the legs to the sky. Hands behind your head. Exhale, knees to chest. If you want to lift your head towards the knees this time, if that's safe for you. And then releasing the head down towards the mat, placing your left foot with a bent knee on the mat. We're going to come into like a thread the needle, similar to pigeon, but on your back if you'd rather flip over and do pigeon, if there's no compression in your spine and something that you really want to do, you can do that instead. Otherwise, drawing in the left thigh. Maybe both hands are interlaced and your elbow kind of maneuvers into place to press your right thigh away. That may not work for you. It might be left thigh in and right thigh out with your palm. Or maybe just keeping it on the floor is plenty. So just take a moment. Some days are different than others. Just because you normally do it one way doesn't mean that's the way you should do it every time. Relax your face. You just start to soften the breath. And then when that feels complete for you, bringing the foot back down, unhooking the legs. Taking the hands behind your head and straightening the legs, heels on the floor. And then bending the right leg, crossing the left, whichever one you did the opposite now. And drawing that leg in if you'd like. Keeping some integrity in the ankles so we're not creating any new issues in our joints here. Relaxing through the low breath, through the low back with the breath. Maybe sighing out the breath a few times as you start to let go of any of that clinging or holding patterns that you might feel in the body, in the back. Oftentimes beyond our consciousness, it's so deep within our habit patterns of ingrained stress. Just letting it go. Relaxing the eyes and the face. And then bringing that foot back to the ground if it's off the ground. Maybe pausing there for a couple of breaths before unhooking the ankle. And then you might want blocks or even just your fists. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet coming together. Maybe you can do this just flat on your mat. I need a little support. It's too much on my hips. And that's all I do is I actually make a little fist with my thumb kind of pressing right into my, right into the soft spot in my glute. And then the knees, soles of the feet are together and the knees come out to the side. And my fists being here keep them right in a safe place. You can also place a block or a book underneath your knees. Maybe lift the chest and draw the shoulders back and down slightly and then release. We won't be here super long. Relax your face and the belly. That's my dog Zen. And then let's bring the knees in. He's totally digging Yogi today. Knees together. And then for a moment, just place your feet on the floor wider than your hips. Let your knees come in and kind of knock knee. And then just left and right. Again, windshield wipers like we did on our belly. We're going to be moving out into a spinal twist, relaxed twist here. So kind of choosing the best twist that you would like to. This is setting us up for bringing the bottom. So I'm going to bring my knees to the right. I'm going to place something underneath my left knee for support, which I actually don't have something big enough. I would use that bolster, but I don't want to get up. And then my right knee would come up on top like this. I don't actually practice this pose, so that's why I'm not set up for it, because it doesn't work for my back, but a lot of people love that pose. So that's what I'm just going to open up for you. I don't want to not teach it because I don't do it. But the other option is stacked knees, of course, and considering whether or not you need something under that right knee. or between, or both. Sometimes I'll actually take the blanket, I place it right to the edge of my knee, fold it over, and place the other knee on top. And that gives me just enough support to where I don't feel too much pull on my joints and my back and my hips. And let's just open up the arms, soften down into that left shoulder blade. You can also straighten one of the legs, placing the right hand on top of the top leg for a nice little, like a sandbag effect, a little added self-weight. Just relax the arms, the elbows, the shoulders. Even if your hand is weighting down the top leg, can you relax that arm all the way up to the shoulder? Where is the mind? Where is it going? What's it headed towards? Just gently draw it back to the breath. Imagine you're floating off on from the sky, like above your body, looking down at yourself right now. Scanning for areas in the body that you visualize there might be some stress. The face, the heart, the chest, the belly, fingers and toes. And as you're ready to come back to center, being oh so conscientious of your movement. So lifting that top leg, the left leg in this case, because I was over to my right. I actually place my left foot back on the mat and lift my hip, because twists I have to be very careful with my back. And then I draw my knees in wide. Just to completely give some movement and freedom and space for the sacrum. Now let's straighten the feet to the ceiling. And then bend again. Move your props to the other side if you're using props. Maybe do another little set of windshield wipers to the left if you're doing the heel crossing onto the thigh, making sure that the knee is supported. Or stack knee, extended right arm, left hand on the top leg. Relaxing the elbow and the shoulder and the face. Maybe turning the face a little more towards your hand or towards your outstretched arm, palm up or down. Bringing the mind back to the breath. If your head is turned to one side, bringing it back to center, slowly lifting that top leg. Rolling back out of the back, realigning hips and low back. Shoulders, drawing the knees wide to chest, lengthening through the tailbone, the low back, the side body. And then let's gently press the knees together, straighten the feet to the sky. Point, flex, rotate. Snap, crackle, pop. And then either placing your thumbs underneath your hips, elbows bent, or you can sit this one out. We're going to use our core muscles here, abdominals, to exhale slowly, slowly, slowly. Straight legs or bent or one at a time. So there's various ways you can practice this. You can pause at the end of each exhale until you get maybe 5 exhales or one super slow, long exhale, hovering the heels over the ground. Inhaling, bringing the feet back up. Feel the whole lumbar back pressed into the mat. No space for hands. And then exhale, keep that expression, keep that energy through the mid back and low back as you lower down the strong legs. Using the exhale, making sure you're not straining the eyes or the neck. Hover at the top and then inhale once again. And exhale. This time the heels touch, little kiss, and then draw the knees to the chest, and then place the feet on the floor, parallel to one another near your sitting bones. So as we finish our practice today, I invite you to have a nice, beautiful ending heart opener. It could be either a nice, strong bridge where you interlace your fingers and roll your arms and lift your spine and hold, or placing a bolster or even a block underneath your low back crosswise and having a nice supported bridge, or even pressing into the feet, inhaling, lifting into a gentle bridge as the arms sweep up overhead, thumbs come towards the mat, pelvis lifts a little higher, and then the exhale, release. So if you still have a busy mind, even after this practice, you're still a little concerned about if you're really embodying your practice, this would be your choice. All you want to do is kind of like close your eyes and do much of nothing. You might want to do a stronger pose unless you need that rest. If it's just out of depression or laziness, then energize the heart, open it up, engage. And if you really are in a place that you need to rest, which many of us are, then support it. And just allow the heart to open without any of your own doing. Just allow the energy and the lifting with the block or bolster to do your work for you. So I'm just checking in without any judgment. And in the next couple of breaths, releasing the back towards the mat, straightening one leg and down to the ground, and then the other. I like to place my hands right on top of my thighs here, and then bring the right knee in, and then the left knee in. And hold them in together. Now, if there's anything else that would really benefit you today that you would like to incorporate into your practice before moving into Shavasana, now would be a wonderful time for that. So Shavasana is where we bring all of our intention, our practice, our breath, the discipline of showing up on our mat together to integrate on a deep cellular level. So it's a really important pose, and in many ways we say that the whole point of a yoga practice is to get to Shavasana. So never, I please ask you to never shortchange this last pose. And you can experience that however you'd like. You can come to seated. It's nice to lay. The reason we lie in corpse pose because it is a metaphorical of dying, of letting go of who you were when you showed up at this practice this morning. We're letting things go. We're releasing both old habit patterns, old breathing patterns, literally toxins within the body with our exhale breath. And we integrate that with the absolute surrender of letting go and releasing. So in your own time, if you are practicing anything before Shavasana, this is your own home practice. Make sure you give time to both sides and you create some space before you move into Shavasana to just have a rebound. So for instance, if it's a shoulder stand coming into fish pose or Matsyasana, if it's a handstand, at least half the time in your rebound poses, in child's pose, if you're doing two-sided pose, giving time in between each side. Just being so mindful, even as we get to the end, sometimes our mind can kind of jump forward, growly stomach or things to do or kids to look after, or chores to get to, whatever it is, but this is still your time. This is your gift, your present. So thank you so much. Namaste. Hare